Hey guys, welcome back to PJ's channel. We'll be studying shares and dividend lecture number 3. I think this will be the final lecture for shares and dividends. We'll be looking at some other sums, some new types of sums. I call them the type 2 sums, which will help you solve exercise 3B very simply. In a nutshell, if you guys don't have time to do the entire exercise, I recommend you just do this video properly and you'll be ready for the entire shares and dividend chapter, provided you did formulae of part 1 and the video part 2. Links are given in description. Also, I've given some reference material in the description, so don't forget to check that out. And as usual, hit like, hit share, and subscribe. Tell your friends about this channel. I hope it will be, I'm pretty sure it will be beneficial to everybody. All right, so let's start. Sum number 1: a man buys an NV80 share in a company which pays 20% dividend. So we know face value of the share is rupees 80. What is the dividend percent? Dividend percent is equal to 20%. All right, dividend percent is 20%. He buys the share at such a price that his profit is 16% on investment. So his profit percent or yield rate percent is 16%. At what price did he buy the share? What price did he buy the share? They are asking us the MV. How do we calculate it? Simple formula we have learned. Profit percent into MV is equal to NV into, or face value, into dividend percent. So what do we write here? We write 16 into MV is equal to NV is 80 into dividend percent is 20. MV is equal to, very simple, 5 into 20. MV is equal to rupees 100. So he bought the share at rupees 100 and this becomes your answer. Let me box it. Next. Okay, in these which is better or what is a better investment type sums, always remember you need to focus on calculating the profit percent. If the profit percent of company A is better than the profit percent of company B, then obviously you would go for company A because you're getting a better profit over there. All right, so let's take company A, and here we'll take company B. Like, we don't know which the name is, so I'm just taking A and B. All right. So here you're getting a D1 dividend 1% of 12%, and the NV is rupees 100. MV is rupees 120. Here you're getting D2% of 8% on shares at face value rupees 100, selling at a marked value of rupees 90. This is 2, 2, this is 1, 1. So let's calculate yield rate percent 1 into MV1 is equal to D1% into NV1. So your yield rate percent 1, once you plug in the values, you'll get 12 into 100 upon 120. Here you're getting a profit of 10%. YR percent 1. And over here on the company B side, again same formula if we apply, YR percent 2 into 90, that's MV2, is equal to D2%, that's 8 into NV2, 100. Your YR percent 2 works out to be around 800 upon 90. Once you calculate that, you will get 8.89%. So from these two values which we just found out, okay, we realize that YR percent 1 is greater than YR percent 2. Therefore, company A is a better investment. Very simple. Okay, next. Let's look at this one. A man sells 60 rupees 15 shares of a company at 21 and then invest proceeds. Okay. So again, we're dealing with two companies here. So always make company A and company B. Always make these two columns. Over here, N1 is 60 shares. The nominal value is rupees 15. Dividend percent is 12%. And MV is rupees 21. He invests the whatever he gained from this, he invests the proceeds, right, in rupees 6 shares of another company at 9 each. Find the change in his income. So firstly, we'll calculate his, he sells 60 shares at 21. So calculate his selling price. So you can say calculate his selling price will be his MV into N. So that is 21 into number of shares. This will be 1260. And this selling price of A becomes his investment in company B, is equal to SP in A, which is equal to, because he invests the proceeds, right? Find the change in his income. So let's look at his income in A. His income in A was nothing but dividend percent upon 100 into number of shares into NB. Dividend percent was 12 upon 100, number of shares was 60 into NV is 15. Alright, once we calculate this, what will we get? 12 into 60 into 15 divided by 100. His income was 108. Okay, we need this value for later. Now let's go on to company B. The company B ka NV or face value was rupees 6 and MV was rupees 9. So how will you find number of shares? Number of shares is nothing but his investment upon MV or mark value. So 1260 divided by 9. What is 1260 divided by 9? Is 140 shares. 140 shares. His income in B is equal to dividend percent of B into N of B into NB of B. They've said dividend is 8%, 8 upon 100 into N, that's 140 into NB, that's 6. Once we calculate this, we get an income of rupees 67.20. So what is the change in income? Let's see the change in income. Change in income is IA minus IB, which is equal to 108 minus 67.2, which is equal to rupees 40.80. This is his change in income, what we were looking for. Right? Next sum. Mr. Ram Gopal invested 8,000 in 7% 100 shares, rupees 100 shares at 80. After a year, he sold these and invested proceeds, including dividend. The thing to make sure over here is you read this. So find his dividend for first year. Okay, so again there are two companies we're dealing with, company A and your company B. This is when he like reinvests his profits or whatever. Okay, so he invested A, his first investment A was rupees 8,000. NVA is what? 100 share, rupees 100. MVA is 80. And dividend percent of A is 7%. Okay, what was the selling price? The selling price, he sold his shares at 75 each. So his selling price of A was 75 into the number of shares. What was his number of shares? Into number of shares which he bought of A. So 75 into number of shares is nothing but investment upon MV. This becomes 75 into 100 because 8,000 upon 80. This is nothing but 8,000 upon 80. That gives us 100. So his selling price was at 7,500. What had he earned? What was his income from A? That is D percent of A into N into NVA. Number of shares is 100 as we know. Discount percent is 7 upon 100 into 100 into 100. So his net SP including dividend is equal to his selling price plus his income, what he earned from the dividend. So this becomes rupees 8,200. Now, remember guys, this value, this 7,200, what he earned totally after selling his shares of company A, this becomes his investment. We'll go all the way up. Sorry. This becomes his investment in company B. Alright, I hope you understood this. So investment of B becomes rupees 8,200. I hope I got the value right. Let's just check. Yes. This investment of B becomes 8,200. So this is what means invested the proceeds including dividend. They've told us the dividend percent of B is 18%. NVB is 25, or face value of shares is 25, and MV of B is rupees 41. So we've already calculated dividend for first year. Now we have to calculate the dividend for first year is over here, or income of A. This is part 1. Okay, calculate the dividend is annual income for the second year. So annual income for second year is nothing but IB is equal to DB percent into number of shares in B into face value of shares of company B. So that's 18 upon 100. NB is nothing but investment in B upon MV of B into 25. This becomes 18 upon 100 into 8,200 divided by 41 into 25. Once you work this out, what will you get? So we'll get 0.18 into this, you get as rupees 900. This is alright. So we found our first two subparts. Next, the percentage increase in return on his original investment. So we have to find increase in return on original investment. What was his original investment? Please read the question properly, okay? This part is a little tough. original investment is rupees 8,000. This was nothing but his investment in company A. Now, increase in return is nothing but your IB minus IA, which is 900 minus 700. You have to just pick out the data, whatever you found out. So what is percentage increase? Percentage increase is equal to increase upon original times 100. So we get 200 upon 8,000 times 100. What will this be, guys? Very simple. So that's 200 divided by 8,000 into 100. Your increase is 2.5% increase. This is your percentage increase. So here's all the data that we used and we found out and calculated the required information. Let me highlight the answers for you. This is the answer for part 3. Answer for part 2 is over here. And answer for part 1 is over here. This is all the data that we required. Next sum. Right. Ashok and Sandeep. Okay, Ashok and Sandeep. Again, here we have a company A, company B kind of sum. So obviously we'll make columns to make our job easier. They invest 18,000 each in buying shares of 2 different companies. Let's call this company, let's call this Ashok. And here we'll say Sandeep. Ashok buys 7.5% rupees 100 shares. So let's say NVA is 100 at a discount of 20%. So MVA will be 100 minus 20% of 100. That will be rupees 80. And the dividend rate he's getting, dividend percent of A is 7.5%. So first always calculate the number of shares. How many shares has he bought? Investment of A upon MV of A. They've said they each invested 18,000. Okay, you can leave it over here. You can leave it over here because I don't think this data will be important later on. If you read the question, they receive equal dividend. So we have to equate the dividend and then find the rate of dividend received by Sandeep. Okay, whereas Sandeep buys NVB, he buys nominal value of face value of 50 at a premium of 20%. So his MVB will be 50 plus 20 upon 100 of 50. This is rupees 60 total. It comes out to be. Okay, investment B is equal to 18,000 only. So NB will be 18,000 upon MV of B. That's 18,000 by 60. Leave it here. Leave it here. If both receive equal dividend at the end of the year, calculate rate of dividend by Sandeep. Let DB percent be. We need to calculate this. Okay. Now they've told us income of A is equal to income of B. So what is the formula for income? DA percent into NA into NVA is equal to DB percent into NB into NV of B. We have to calculate this DB percent. So 7.5 into NA was nothing but 18K upon 80. NVA is into 100 is equal to what we have to calculate DB percent. I don't know that. Into 18K upon 3 into NVB is 50. Now all you have to do is sit and cancel. 18,000 cancel. 51s are 52s are cancel. Okay. Rearrange the equation. You'll get 7.5 into 2 into 60 upon 80 is dB percent. Now once you calculate this, what will you get? You will get dB percent as 11.25%. Very simple. So all you have to do is just be careful with the numbers and the calculation. Then you won't make a mistake. This was the rate of dividend that Sandeep got. Next, John had 1,000 shares of a company with face value 40 paying this much dividend. He sold some of these shares at 10%, invested proceeds in 20 shares. In 20 premium of 50%, paying 12% dividend. If change in income is 192, find the number of shares sold by John. We have to find how many shares did he sell. Again, let's take a company A, company B case. He had 1,000 shares. All right. The face value or nominal value initially was rupees 40. It's giving him a dividend of 8%. And what was he sold some of these shares at a discount of 10% and invested the proceeds. Okay. So first let the number of shares sold be X. So what will be the income on X shares? Okay, this is something you need to calculate. Do not calculate the dividend on all his 1,000 shares because he sold X shares. So they are asking change in income. If they are giving is 192, they mean what is the change in income on the X shares that he sold of company A and the shares that and the income from company B. Okay, so we have to find the income on X shares. So income on X shares will be nothing but dividend of A into number of shares, that's X, into NV, that's 40. Sorry, 40. Alright. So this comes out to be 3.2x. Keep this figure in mind. Income on X shares, 3.2x. Let's call this 1. Okay, his proceeds is equal to number of shares sold into 40 minus 10% of 40. That's because he sold it at a discount of 10%. This gives you 36x. Now, they said he invested the proceeds in company B, so INVB is equal to 36x. Okay. INVB, the company B, the shares at nominal price of 20. The marked value of the share is rupees 20 plus 50% of 20. This turns out to be basically 20 plus half of 20 is nothing but 30. And the dividend this company is giving is 12%. So now let's calculate the income that the company B gave. That is nothing but dividend into a number of shares. Number of shares is investment in B upon marked value of B into the NB. Let's look at this. This turns out to be exactly 2.88x. Now it's very simple and straightforward. They've given us the change in income. Change in income, do bigger minus smaller. So IA minus IB is 192. IA, remember we calculated, is 3.2x minus 2.88x, because basically equation 1 minus equation 2 is 192. Calculate this and you will get x as 600 shares. and this is the number of shares John sold. Let's look at the 18th question. Divide 40,000 into two parts such that if one part is invested in these shares and another part is invested in other shares, the annual incomes are equal. Again, company A and company B. Here, let investment of A, or basically let investment A be X. So obviously investment of B will be the other part, rupees 40608 minus X. Here NVA is rupees 100, MVA is 100 minus 8% of 100, easy, rupees 92. What is the dividend A? That dividend is giving 8%, alright. So let's calculate income of A, very simple, dividend percent into number of shares. Number of shares is nothing but investment upon MV into NA, direct formula. Same thing let's do here. NVB is rupees 100. MVB is 8% premium, so rupees 108. 100 plus 8% of 100, that's 108. And the dividend this company is giving is 9%. So let's calculate investment. Investment is, let's calculate income. Income is nothing but dividend rate into number of shares. Number of shares is investment upon MV, all right, into NV, nominal value, that's 100. Now they've told us IA is equal to IB. Since IA is equal to IB, all you have to do is equate the two equations that we have got. Is equal to 9 upon 100 into 40608 minus x upon 108 into 100. This gives us 8x upon 92 is equal to 9 into 40608 minus x upon 108. So we get 8x upon 92 is equal to 40608 minus x upon 12, because 9 12s are 108. Now we calculate this, alright. I'll just calculate this over here. So we get x upon 40608 minus x is equal to 92 upon 12 into 8. Let's reduce this. We can reduce with 4, I suppose. Yes. So you will get 24x is equal to 23 into 40608 minus x. So you will get 24x is equal to 23 into 40608 minus 23x. So you get x is equal to 23 into 40608 upon 47. Let's calculate this. You'll get x as rupees 19872. So therefore 40608 minus 19872 is equal to 2736. These are your two parts. This is your part 1. So this is your investment in company A and this is your investment in company B. Very simple. Okay, you might face a little calculation time over here. but you as and when you practice more and more, it gets better. A man has a choice to invest 100 rupee shares of two companies A and B. Shares of A are available at premium of 20%, paying 8% dividend. And so again, we have two companies case, company A, company B. If a man invests equally in both the companies and the sum of return is 936. All right. So let's assume that he invests equally in both companies. So let's assume his investment in each company to be X. So investment of A is X. Investment of B is also rupees X. All right. 100 rupee shares. So NB of A is rupees 100. So what is MV of A? They are at a premium of 20%. So 100 plus 20% of 100 is nothing but 120. Alright, the dividend he gets from A is 8%. Let's look at NV of B is also 100. The MV of B are available at discount of 10%. So 100 minus 10% of 100 is nothing but rupees 90. The dividend percent he is getting for B is 7%. Now, the sum of return of them is 936. Find how much does he invest. Very simple. We calculate the incomes from each company, add them up, equate them to 936 and find X. Income is equal to dividend percent into number of shares. Number of shares is income upon MV, marked value, into the nominal value or face value. That's 100. IB, dividend percent upon investment in upon onto number of shares, so that's investment upon marked value into NB. Now they've given us the sum is 936. IA plus IB, guys, is equal to 936. Very simple, just substitute the values. Substitute the values, so we'll get this. This is my IA plus my IB is equal to 936. Okay, you'll get 8x upon 120 plus 7x upon 90 is equal to 936. Now, you can reduce this further, so you can get x upon 15 plus 7x upon 90 is equal to 936. Alright, so you will get 90x plus 105x is equal to 936 into 15 into 90. So x will be 936 into 15 into 90 upon 195. So x will be, once you calculate this, you will get the investment as rupees 6480. So once we find X over here, they've asked us what is the total investment. Total investment is total investment, that is total investment in both companies is nothing but 2x, x plus x, right? So 2 into 6480, which is 12960 rupees. And this, guys, this becomes your final answer. This is the actual answer to the question. Please don't stop at X. We have to find both. I know these sums are a little hard because they are type 2 miscellaneous type. But if you understand each sum which I taught you in this video lecture, you should be able to tackle exercise 3B and anything that the ICSE throws at you. Alright, so I hope you guys keep practicing, keep revising your formulae. This is a very formula based chapter. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time.